Unit 5. Autobiographies and Memoirs. When famous people retire or reach a certain age, they often write about their lives. There are two main types of literature that deal with a person's life story. They are autobiographies and memoirs. Now, the two may seem the same, but they aren't. Yes, there are some similarities, but there are also some differences between them. Let's examine them. Both deal with people's lives and what happened to them. Both are almost always written by the people they're about. And both are told in the first person. Basically, they're told from the author's viewpoints. The authors use the pronoun I and write what they recall. Good ones, good writers, often confirm the facts with the extant records. For example, the British politician Winston Churchill wrote about his role as Prime Minister in World War II. He had access to all the records from the time. This made his work highly accurate. In fact, Churchill's writings are often considered historical, not autobiographical. Bad writers, on the other hand, merely write events as they remember them happening. Sometimes their memories are not exactly correct. The main differences between memoirs and autobiographies are the time periods covered and who writes them. Memoirs are often written by statesmen, generals, or other high-ranking officials. They're typically written after the authors have retired. Memoirs focus on small portions of people's lives. For example, they may be about a time when the people were serving their countries. Here's a famous one. The American General Ulysses S. Grant wrote a memoir on his experiences in the Civil War. Yet the Civil War was but a 4-year period in his life. He completed his memoirs a mere 5 days before he died. It became a bestseller in his day and made his family rich. Autobiographies, meanwhile, cover people's entire lives. Virtually anyone can write them. Politicians, business leaders, entertainers, artists, and athletes are the most common writers. They often begin with the birth of the author and continue to the point in the author's life where he or she is at the time of the writing. Details about the person's family, education, and how he or she became famous are usually included. Most people enjoy reading stories about famous people, so they often become bestsellers. Oh, by the way, if the book is written by another person, it is called a biography. This kind of book is normally written after a person dies. Occasionally, this is not the case. When a biography is written without the person or his family's permission, it's called an unauthorized biography. Listening comprehension. Number 1. What is the professor mainly discussing? Number 2. According to the professor, how are biographies different from autobiographies? Number 3. According to the professor, how may each of the following works of literature be described? Number 4. What does the professor imply about biographies? Number 5. The following statements describe some different forms of literature. Put a check in the correct box for each sentence.